Hiya, and welcome back to Tennis Ace, the game that teaches us that apparently 1 minute equals 15 minutes. Thanks, Keisuke. Anyways, let's just hop right in. Hiya. Making my way to the center of the court, I stand in front of the net, facing Yuya-kun directly. He continues smiling at me the whole time, which I find a little disconcerting. We shall initiate a warm-up. Players may exchange shots for 3 minutes. We both go to the opposite sides of the court. The umpire throws one of us a ball, and we begin lightly tapping it back to the other side, trying different shots. After a minute and a half, we switch sides, doing it all over again. Once we're done, the umpire calls us back to the center of the court. Shall we use a coin toss to decide who gets first serve? Hiya. We both nod. Michimiya will be heads. Kokonose will be tails. Heads. Michimiya, do you wish to serve first? Yeah, I'll take the serve. Good. I'm always glad to start by serving. At least this way I can put a dent on the score difference, and hopefully deal some psychological damage. In that case, I'll take. I think I'll stay on this side of the court. Hiya. Very well. May the players take their positions then? I'm handed 2 balls and I slip one inside my pocket. Without delay, the two of us prepare ourselves to start playing. I take my position behind the service line and start bouncing the ball. I take deep breaths, trying to get a feel for how my body is responding. Okay, my muscles don't seem like they're too tight right now. I guess I'm still feeling pretty good despite not getting much sleep. Time to take away this tournament in one fell swoop. I hit a flat serve, trying to go as close to the lines as I can. I'm shooting for a service ace. Yuya-kun reacts almost immediately, chasing after the ball with the agility of a wild beast. When I see him reach the ball, my breathing catches in my throat, my eyes going wide at the unexpected sight. My first few serves are almost always aces. How did he... Arf! Yuya-kun hits the ball with full power, sending it back at a high speed. Luckily for me, the ball hits the net, never managing to cross over to my side. 15 love. So close. Yuya-kun kicks at the ground in annoyance, looking at the ball rolling on the floor. It's only then that I snap back to reality and realize that I've been frozen in place this whole time. This is weird. I know I wasn't just underestimating him when I thought that he wouldn't be able to reach the ball. Usually whenever a new player plays against me, he needs time to adjust to my serve. This guy, he reacted instantly to one of my fastest serves as if it was nothing. In fact, the only reason he missed was because he put too much power into the ball. No, I can't let this get to me. Yuya-kun is a very intuitive player. I noticed that from the videos long ago, and Keisuke confirmed it to me this morning. Oh, nice! Don't woof. Woof. Hiya! I have no clue. I think we're winning, but I don't know. Wait. Okay, let's get to me. And KK confirmed to me this morning. You have to keep in mind that he's the type to take reckless risks. He's going to try to score with every single shot, so get ready to have him return your serves with as much power as he can, is what Keisuke said. It hadn't really hit me how true his words were until I saw this. Right now, he was definitely aiming for return ace. If I give this guy even the tiniest of openings, he's going to blow my defenses apart. Alright, give him no quarter. Try to blow away this feeling of discomfort that's taking over me. Blow it away with my next serve. This time I go for a slice that quickly escapes to the side. He's going to try and push me back with power, then I'll make sure to make my serve extra slippery so he won't be able to control the ball all that well. As I was expecting him to return the ball like he did the last time, my whole body tensed up in anticipation, preparing to start running in whatever direction he sent the ball. Instead, and to my surprise, Yuya-kun froze as soon as the ball began to curve, merely watching as it passed him by. Eh? Wow, it curves that much? Didn't look like that in the videos. 30 love. Gah! I was so busy admiring the shot that I forgot to return it. Yuya-kun immediately ran back to his receiving position to prepare himself for the next serve. This guy is really odd. No distractions. I've got to keep my head in the game. If the spin on the last serve caught him by surprise, then how about... I try to impart as much topspin as I can into my next serve. The ball should bounce closer to the net and then kick up at a sharp angle. If he isn't careful, he might miss the timing to return. Just as I imagined, Yuya-kun completely misses the timing and ends up hitting the air with his racket. I think I'm dimly aware of the fact that I'm gaping right now. 40 love. The Akita pouts, fiddling with the strings of his racket. Was that first return just a fluke? Didn't look like it, but... well, it doesn't matter right now. Looks like I'll be able to run away with the first game, so I should just focus on that. First set won by Michimiya. Game count 6-4. Huh. That went well. I throw myself on top of my bench, taking the opportunity to sip on some of the energy drinks that I brought with me. This is weird. His way of playing has left me completely confused. There are times when he seems like he might completely overwhelm me, and then out of nowhere, that feeling fades. I still feel incredibly uncomfortable playing against him, but it seems like I had no reason to. To be honest, I don't even know how he could have beaten Keikun so easily. I can imagine the two having a close match, but not overwhelming defeat. And yet, the fur on my neck is still standing on attention. Every nerve in my body is telling me to be careful. I feel like I'm being hunted by a wild animal. Looking over to Yuya-kun, I can't even see his face as he's completely covered his head with a towel. He's tapping his leg a lot. Is he nervous? Maybe his nerves have been getting to him and he hasn't been able to play his best? Well, regardless, my only concern right now should be winning this. If I can take the second set as easily as I did the first, then this match shouldn't last one more hour. It's time. Will the players please return to the court? Those are some quick 2 minutes. Well, Yuya-kun should be the one to serve As soon as my eyes meet up with Yuya's, my whole body tenses up. His eyes are completely different from before. His pupils have dilated so much, he really does look like a wild beast right now. Is this all just because of his focus? Because if so, that's some serious concentration power right there. Just to err on the side of caution, I decided to take one step back for this first serve. I'd be giving up my super offensive position, but at least I'll have more time to react to his serve. I take my position and prepare myself. Once it's clear that we're both ready to resume play, Yuya-kun tosses the ball up so high to start his serve and... Huh? What just happened? Just like that, everyone has suddenly gone silent. Yuya-kun's positioning. Wait, he already served? I turn around to see the ball stuck on one of the fence's chain links. What? How's the ball already there? How could he serve so fast? I barely had time to react to it. That serve was just as fast as Morisaki-san's fastest serve. Even the umpire seems to be at a loss. He's staring at the ball completely dumbfounded. Hey, shouldn't you be making the call? Yuya-kun calls his attention, and only then does he seem to snap back to reality. Right, I'm sorry, 15 love. Did you see how fast that ball went? Holy shit, it was even faster than Yuichi's. How can a no-name player serve that fast? And he's pretty good, too. Ugh, the crowd is suddenly being so noisy. It's like a dam suddenly broke, and now their voices are even louder than before. I can barely hear my own thoughts over all the voices. Silence, please. The match will resume. At the umpire's behest, the spectators stopped shouting so much. But it looks like Yuya-kun wasn't bothered by it in the slightest. In fact, it's almost as if he didn't notice them at all. He was already in his position, ready to serve again. His concentration is really scary. Shit. I'm starting to feel uneasy again. What the hell was with that serve? Is he going to start serving like that every time now? What was even the catalyst? That's too sudden a change to have come out of nowhere. Yuichi-san seems to be struggling a lot to keep up with his opponent. Even though he was doing so well in the first set, it seemed as if with every passing point, it becomes harder and harder for him to keep up. Shit, it's already starting. Starting? What do you mean? I turned to look at Keisuke-san, confused by his words. It's the same thing that happened to you, isn't it, Urushihara? Yeah, I thought it wouldn't happen again since Kokonose didn't show any signs of it in the first set, but... Didn't show any signs of what? What's going on? So, this is what it was. Even Akiyoshi-kun mumbled something out. When I looked over to him, his face was scrunched up in a look of worry. Even you, Akiyoshi-kun? What are you guys talking about? Just then, the sound of the ball hitting the fence echoed loudly, making me yelp. Game won by Kokonose, 4-1. Oh, so you noticed it too, Michimiya-san? Akiyoshi-kun nodded. To be honest, I didn't notice anything at first, but I walked in on Aniki watching his videos quite frequently, and sometimes I stuck around to watch them too. Aniki was always going on about having a bad feeling whenever he watched them and kept saying that he felt like something was wrong. I didn't really understand what he was going on about, but seeing it in person is a whole other story. What's wrong? Is there something wrong with the match? His switch is flipped. His switch? Shoichi-san nodded without offering any other explanation. Can someone just tell me what's going on here? Not exactly, but I suppose that's one way to put it. The thing is, it's really hard to notice from watching a video, but seeing it in person allows you to notice a lot of new details that you couldn't otherwise. And playing against him allows you to notice even more. But then again, Yuichi-san has always been a little slow on the uptake, so maybe he hasn't realized it yet. To put it bluntly, Kokonose is improving as the match goes along. Improving? You mean he's getting better? Keisuke-san nods, his look almost somber. At a very rapid pace, I might add. The same thing happened when I played against him. At first, I wasn't having much trouble against him, but then out of nowhere, as if he had flipped a switch, he changed completely. From this point on, his reactions are going to start getting faster and faster. His shots are going to get stronger and much more accurate, and strategy will start failing against him one after the other. It's as if he's entered a state of rapid growth in the middle of the match. I've heard that very talented players could do that, but I've never seen it in person before. Wait, so you're saying that, like, he's learning how to deal with Yuichi-san? Just like that? Game 1 by Kokonose, 5-3. The three of them seem to be so focused on the match that they're not even paying attention to what I'm saying anymore. Damn it! This hurts to watch. Hey. I move my hands in front of Keisuke-san's face to try and get his attention. He grabs my wrists and pushes my hands down. Yes, that is exactly what I'm saying. I tried to tell Yuichi-san before the match, but he just dismissed my worries, saying that there's no way something like that could happen in real life. Figures. He's such a thick-headed idiot sometimes. Not to mention the lack of self-awareness. He used to be that exact type of player. Yeah, now that you mention it, I guess I caught a few glimpses of it when those players visited us from the US, but nothing at this level. Shoichi-san nods. When Morisaki visited, Yuichi definitely took a few steps forward. But he's been nowhere near the level he was back in middle school. It's like he's been stagnating ever since. He used to be just like this boy he's playing against right now. He'd improve tremendously whenever he played against a strong opponent. Back then, he always had this look on his face as if he was having loads of fun. The harder the match, the better. I try taking a better look at his face, but I can't see any of what Shoichi-san is talking about. To me, it just looks like he's in pain. Shoichi-san nods again. He's crossing his arms so tightly that his claws are starting to leave scratch marks on his own skin. Wah! Shoichi-san, stop that! I pull his arms apart and he takes some time to examine them. Good. Looks like he didn't go so far as to break the skin. There's no bleeding. Oh, I didn't even notice. But yeah, right now Yuichi is a completely different guy from who he was 3 years ago. In fact, watching his opponent reminds me of how he used to play a lot more than watching him does. It's ironic. I really don't remember a lot from 3 years ago. My memories are kind of fuzzy. Guess I wasn't very attentive back then. But I remember Aniki started to grow more and more frustrated ever since his first year in middle school. Eventually he just gave up. But he didn't have the guts to admit that he gave up, so he kept trying in name only. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yuichi's skills have barely improved at all since 3 years ago. When Morisaki came from the US, and again when he started partnering up with Urushihara, I thought that maybe he'd turn around, but he always went right back to the starting point as soon as it felt like the spark might have been coming back. Crap, he's getting really overwhelmed by Kokonose right now. If he doesn't do something quick... While I wasn't looking, I hear a sound as if something had been dropped. When I turn to look, everyone's faces are plastered with shock. Damn it, what's going on here? The first set was so easy, but now he feels like a completely different person. His reactions have been steadily getting faster since the beginning of the second set. It's getting harder and harder to score points. It's like he's suddenly leveled up in every single parameter by a whole lot. I'm stuck in a defending position about 3 steps away from the baseline. From where I am, I have no hope of counterattacking. I'm just trying to stick out the point for as long as I can in the hopes that I can turn this around. Yuya-kun hits another ball full of topspin directly to my backhand. Am I just imagining things, or has he been aiming at my backhand for a whole lot more since the start of the second set? Shit. Has he realized that I don't have as much accuracy with it? Not only that, his topspin shots are different somehow. The timing to returning them has gotten a lot more tricky. It's like every single shot has a wildly different amount of spin from the last. When I think I've finally got the hang of it, he changes things up completely and I'm back to square one. My legs are feeling heavy. This set has been a lot more physically draining than the last one. There's no comparison. And he's already broken my serve. If I can't find a way to break his right this instant, then there's no hope of me winning the second set. 5-3. He really drew himself a huge lead while I was too shocked to react. I don't get what's happening here. And in the middle of all this action, I barely have time to think. Can't even come up with a strategy to get out of this, well, not that I've ever been good with strategies to begin with. I'm unable to reach a particularly strong shot he launched at the open court. The ball smashes against the fence, making it echo with the sound of metal. 40 love. Shit. Shit, fuck, damn it, I can barely even stand right now. How did I get so tired? He's been running me around, the bastard. I'm having to lean forward and gasp for some air to come into my lungs. And breathing burns so much right now. Are you alright? Oh, damn, the umpire's looking my way. He looks like he's genuinely worried. I'm fine, just a bit winded. He nods. I quickly get back to my position before he has the chance to chastising me for the delay. Even if he is sympathetic to me, the rules are the rules. It's my own fault for not handling my stamina very well. But God, to be running on fumes by the end of the second set, all of a sudden looks like I'm in a pinch. I give a signal to Yuya-kun telling him that I'm ready to continue. His face is almost like stone right now. I can't read him at all. Before I could tell every little thing he was feeling because of how expressive his face was. Now, there's nothing. He's completely unreadable. Oh shit, he started to serve while I wasn't paying attention. I need to run to the ball. Shit, I've got to reach it. That serve doesn't look like it was very powerful. It looks like he put a lot of topspin on the ball to try to catch me by surprise. No way am I letting this one go through. Managed to get to the ball just in time to... Shit. Fuck, I didn't even notice. I wasn't holding my racket right. Only half of my hand was gripping it, and the force of the ball ended up making it fly off. Game, set, and match won by Kokonose. Game count 6-3. Damn it! This was my fault. I got so hung up on trying to figure out what was happening that I stopped paying attention to what I was doing. I leaned down to pick up my Ow! I immediately jumped back, holding my thumb as a sharp pain shoots through it. Yuya-kun and the umpire immediately noticed my pained yelp. Are you alright? Yeah, I'm just... Ow! Shit. I think I hurt my finger when the racket flew out of my hand. I think I sprained my thumb when the racket flew off my hand. Could you help me apply some taping? Of course. The fox quickly got down from his chair, picking up a first aid kit that was stored under it and rushing to my side as I sat down on the bench. Damn it, this hurts. I'm no doctor, but this definitely looks like a sprain. Would you like to ask for a medical team timeout on top of the set break? Yeah, if you'd be so kind. The umpire quickly applies a very tight taping to my finger and gets back on his chair. We shall be taking a 3-minute break after this timeout due to a medical issue. Good thing this is only a prefectural level tournament. If this were nationals, I don't think the Empire would have even bothered to help me with the taping. Shit. My finger feels really rigid and painful. Are you alright? Yuya-kun pops up, looking down at me with worry. Oh, now he has expressions again? Yeah, I'm fine. It's just a sprain. I'm so sorry I put too much power on that. But, hey, hold on. I'm so sorry I put too much power on the ball. Hey, it's alright. This isn't your fault. I wasn't paying attention to my grip. I was barely even holding onto the racket at that point. It would have probably flown out of my hand on the next swing anyways. Ah! Also, Haya. Okay. Gee, stop looking down at me with such worried eyes. It's hard to think of you as an opponent when you're acting so kind towards me. Even though I've already dismissed his concerns, he continues to just stand there, looking at me. Yuya-kun? Yeah? Shouldn't you sit down and use the break to manage your stamina? Sorry, am I making you uncomfortable by standing so close? Oh, I guess you noticed. A little bit, yeah. Sorry, I'll get out of your hair, but, if you need any help, you can call me. I wasn't expecting that. Guess he really is a nice guy, if a little too enthusiastic. I get the feeling I've said these same words about someone else not too long ago. Yuichi? Yeah? My attention is snapped back to my surroundings when I hear a voice calling my name. This is the third time I've called you already. Are you alright? Oh yeah, I'm fine. Is the time already? Yes. Please hurry back to the court. I don't want to have to give you a time violation. Sorry. I'll get to it. Haya. Wait. My brain died. Okay, deep breath. Just try to pick up the racket. Are you alright? Shit, I guess you noticed me flinching when I picked it up, huh? I'll be fine. It's just a little tender. That's all. It'll pass. At least I hope it will. The umpire nods, still frowning with worry. God, I really hope this doesn't get in the way of me playing. We will now resume the match. Michimiya will take the first serve. Alright, deep breaths. Did he just drop his racket? Seemed more like it was blown out of his hand. He's hurt! Yuichi-san reaches down to pick up his racket, but immediately drops it again, clutching his hand. Did he hurt his wrist? Doesn't look like it. Looks more like it was his hand. It's still not good. Do you think he's going to be okay? Who cares? Can you believe that Michimiya just lost a set? I can't believe a player I'd never heard about it before has taken a set away from him. The not at all subtle whispers of other people in the audience are easily heard by us. All three of the guys I'm with have their faces scrunched up in varying levels of anger and annoyance. What's the big deal about it? Isn't it normal to lose sets sometimes? You don't get it. It is a big deal in this case. Why? Aniki has never dropped a single set in the prefectural level tournaments. Not even once in the past 6 years. What? Is that even possible? Shoichi-san nods, his eyes stuck to Yuichi-san's figure as he receives medical aid from the referee. It's pretty difficult for sure. Helps that Saitama isn't exactly filled to the brim with strong players. Other than Yuichi, Urushihara is the best that our prefecture has to offer. Hey. Sorry. What I meant to say is that the difference in skill is absurd. Up until now, Yuichi was considered the best tennis player to ever come from the Saitama prefecture. Up until 3 years ago, he was considered to be the best to ever come from Kanto. He was Japan's child star. There were tons of experts banking on him making a professional debut before he even finished high school. People expected him to make it big, as in world top 10 big. Those plans kinda took a backseat when his play started to deteriorate a few years ago. Didn't all this stuff happen before you met him, Keisuke-san? How do you know about all this? Oh, Keisuke-san looks away, fumbling for an answer. Yeah, Urushihara, tell us. You acted as if you barely even knew anything about Yuichi when we first met you. How come you suddenly know this much? It was on the news all the time, okay? I just didn't think it was relevant to mention back then. I see. He doesn't sound sincere at all. Can you just stop bickering and just pay attention to what's going on? The medical timeout is about to end. They're going to start playing again. Sorry, my bad. Did they really just get chastised by a 12-year-old? Yuichi-san, please hang in there. Just try to ignore the pain as much as I can. If I let it bother me too much, I won't be able to concentrate on the match. Yu-Kun has already gotten into his position. For someone who was so clearly worried not a few minutes ago, his face is now maddeningly black. Jeez, is there a switch on him that he can just flip whenever he wants to get like that? And where do I get one like that? Ouch! Shit, that hurt a bit. I froze for a second after serving. I can't let myself be delayed. Fault. I guess I messed up at the last second when the pain shot up and ended up missing. No worries, I'll still get one more try. But I can't be too risky with my second serve, so I'll stay away from a high power shot. Instead, I'll go with a low bounce slice that curves a little to the side. Won't have any crazy amount of spin, but this is the best I can do without being reckless. Just like in the second set, his reaction is almost instant. The moment he ascertains the direction of my shot, he's already on his way. My serve wasn't particularly fast, so he could reach it with no issues. Yu-Kun returns with a cross. I was already running to the center of the court, so this forces me to do a double take. Ha! Shit, this hurts. The ball flies straight into the net. Love 15. I'll have to be more careful with my shots. Try to pull away from the swing because of my finger, I'll end up missing my target. Alright, don't mind it. I take a few more deep breaths before serving again. This time I go with a very risky top spin shot. Since I haven't managed to score any aces with my flats and the timing of those is too unpredictable, I'll sacrifice immediate scoring ability in favor of an advantage on the rally. If I can get his return to be even a little bit off, that could be the advantage I need to get the point. Ha! Yu-Kun sends the ball back with a strong flat straight, but I can see it. His return was just a little shallow. If I can capitalize on this, then I should be able to serve. I might be playing better than usual, but I've already recomposed myself for the most part. You're not catching me by surprise like you did in the second set. If it's a power contest, I should still win. There's no way I would miss the moment when his stance would crumble. Strike. 15 all. Yes! I do a little fist pump to celebrate the point. This is good. Yu-Kun caught me by surprise in the second set, and the shock of it caused my play to worsen. Oh, okay. But I've had time to recompose myself. Even if he's reacting faster, I can still contend. I won't let him overwhelm me, no matter how much he improves during the... Wait. Improve? Isn't this what Keisuke was telling me before the match? Right around the beginning of the fourth game, he started to improve a lot. Improve, as in he focused more? No, I mean he was literally improving. He was leveling up, if that makes it any easier for you to understand. I watched his skills grow right in the middle of the match. What? That's ridiculous. I'm telling you what I saw. Keikun, growth is something that takes a long time. It would be hours of practice before you could even notice a difference. And you're talking about the guy improving dramatically out of nowhere? You had to have been imagining things. I told you, that's what I saw. Hey, you two, what's taking you guys so long? Right. Ugh. I thought there was no way someone could improve right in the middle of a match, but it turns out I was wrong. Can't wait for this match to be over so I can get case. I told you so face. Well, if that's what's happening, then there isn't much I can do to counter that. If it's not a matter of strategy, then no matter how much I strategize, I can't overcome it. That's only if he ends up becoming better than me. I get the feeling that as far as skill is concerned, I'm still ahead. I'll just do my best to settle this quickly. Stalling would be counterintuitive at this point. The longer I let this match go on, the more he'll improve. In that case, if I want to settle this fast, then I have to make an extra push. Forget about the risks, just barely control the ball enough so that it goes in, and hit him with the serve filled with 120% power. The ball strides flat in. The ball strides. Fuck. The ball flies straight into the net, not even close to going over it. Oops. Fault. I guess that was a bit too risky. No, this is good. This is exactly what I have to do right now. Yu-Kun has taken a step forward. Anyone would expect their opponent to go with a low-risk approach on their second serve in that case. Safe to be damned. Hit it even harder. What? He attempts to swing to return the ball, but his racket only comes into contact with air. Ah! Fuck. Ah. Did it go in? Was that one good? Both look at the umpire with anticipation. He looks conflicted, as if he's struggling to make the call. Eventually, he opens his mouth and... Double fault. 15-30. No! Before I can control myself, I shout it out loud, with both of them turning to look at me in surprise. Do you have a problem with my call? No, it's just... just a reflex. Sorry. What? I can't even look up at him right now. My eyes are glued to my feet. I feel like a kid who just tried to defy his parents. Very well. If you'd please, carry on with your next serve. Oh, right. I completely forgot. Sighing, I attempt to recompose myself. I shouldn't tarry much longer, but I always have a few seconds between serves. Right now, trying to avoid piling up more stress is the right call. Double faulting is one of the most stressful things in tennis. If I let that stress mount up, eventually I won't be able to handle it and I'll be crushed. Before this can happen, I have to let it out of my system. Breathe in, and breathe out. In through my nose, feel the air going all the way down to my lungs, and then out through the mouth. In, out. Yuichi, you've already taken 15 seconds. Take 15 more and I'll have to issue a time violation. It's alright. I'm all done. I feel better right now, at least. And even if I did get the violation, it wouldn't be too bad. I have to make sure my head is in the right place. I'm not allowed to make any more mistakes. 15-30. If I screw up here, he'll hold the break point. If he breaks my first serve of the set and gets ahead, I'm not sure I'll be able to catch up. Oh, I will fucking die if there is. In that case, even if it would be the logical choice, I'll forego a conservative approach. This match is going to be about guts. I shouldn't be afraid to take risks, even if it failed me the last time. I hit a powerful topspin shot. Instead of tightly aiming close to the lines, I'd be satisfied as long as the ball goes in. It went in. Yu-Kun managed to return, but he was caught off guard by that shot. Right now I have the advantage. Use the time it takes him to recover, and... What? Serve and volley? Strike! I slammed the ball straight down from my position right on top of the net. There was no way I could miss. Yu-Kun doesn't have time to reach for the ball as it flies away in the opposite direction. 30 all. Yes! I lift both my hands up towards the skull, shouting out in joy. It worked! My high-risk strategy worked. Now I just have to take care to make sure it keeps working. Or so I'd like to say, but even I know that constantly taking risks like these wouldn't be feasible. Instead, I'll make sure to pepper these high-risk shots together with a more conservative pace. If I can break away from a highly defensive stance straight into a strong attack, I just might confuse him. If he's going to get used to my playstyle, then I just have to overwhelm him with different attack patterns so he doesn't figure out which one I'm going to go with next. Heh, that's funny. I'm starting to feel like Heikun here. Is this what it feels like to use your brains? I get back to the service line to try this again, but... Huh? Yuya-kun? He's just... standing in the center of the court. Kokonose, is everything alright? His face is incredibly somber. He's just staring off into the ground. See, is he looking at where my last shot landed? Kokonose, please get into position so we can resume the match. What? Is he seriously not hearing the umpire? I can already see the fox's face scrunching up. He's starting to get annoyed. Kokonose, it's already been 15 seconds. 15 more and it'll be a time violation. He's seriously not responding at all. Is he alright? The umpire continues to stare at him for what feels like an eternity. Kokonose, it's been 30 seconds. I'm issuing you a time violation. Well, if he gets another time violation, he'll lose the point. And yet he still hasn't even acknowledged the umpire's existence. Ah! He's just staring at the ground with a really dark look on his face. Yuya-kun! My sudden shout makes both the umpire and Yuya jump in surprise. What? Oh, Michimiya-san? Is something the matter? Wait, Mr. Umpire, why are you glaring at me like that? Kokonose, I've issued you a time violation. You have 5 seconds to get back to your positions before I give you another one. Huh? What about the call? He called you tons of times. Just get back to your position already. Oh, really? Sorry. I'll get right back to it. He runs back to his spot, waving at me to signal that he's ready. What the hell was that? Was he focusing so much that he didn't even hear us? Just how weird can this guy get? Well, it doesn't matter. I'll just ignore it for now and try to focus on playing. This time I go for a very slow slice, trying to add more spin and careful aim than brute force. Even if I can't make his stance crumble just from that, hopefully I'll catch him off guard and make it so his return is imperfect. A perfect return. His ball is super deep in the court, almost touching the baseline. If it's like this, then we'll be locked in a battle of ground strokes. I feel like I should have an advantage on those, but for some reason, I've been struggling to make a dent in his form for the past set. He's not letting up, each and every one of his shots aiming to score the point. Even when I think I've got him in a bad position, he still goes in for the kill regardless of the risks. I know that I can be pretty reckless at times, but this guy is on a whole new level. He's taking risks left and right. Every single shot he makes has a pretty considerable amount of chance of missing. And yet, they all go in. What is happening? He's starting to push me back little by little. If I let this point go for longer, then the chances of me recovering are going to drop considerably. And yet, should I just give up on this point and focus on the next one? But then we'll be stuck on a deuce. And that's not really the place, that's really not the place I want to be in right now. If I have no choice but to lose the point now or later, then I'm just going to take another stupid risk. I'll go with the drop shot. It worked! Yu-Kun froze for just a second. Even though he managed to return the ball, he's now in a bad position. Not only that, his return wasn't deep or powerful. I can counter it. My shot hits the floor on the other side of the court, far from his reach. Game won by Michimiya, 1 love. Yes! That's how it's done. The crowd is really noisy today. Actually, aren't there more people here than usual? Is anyone even watching the girls' final? The sides of the court are so packed with people that I can barely see beyond them. Right? I know this is a big tournament for our prefecture, but it's still a local one. Why are so many people here on a Sunday? Aw. Saya-Chad's going to kill us. Michimiya? Oh, sorry. Crap, I'm wasting time. Alright, I've got to be extra prepared for his serves. Out of all the areas he's been improving on, the serve is the most dangerous. They keep getting faster and faster and more precise. If I'm even a second late, I won't be able to reach it. Yu-Kun is quietly bouncing the ball over and over on his side of the court. It terrifies me a little when I think of him serving again. Couldn't even touch him at all during his serve games on the last set. And if I can't break his serve, then I don't want to think about it. Yu-Kun finally grips the ball in his hand, lifting his head to look at me with a glare so fierce that I feel it as if it could cut me down. I take 2 steps back from my usual attacking position. If I step back even further, then I'll be completely stuck on defense. But if I'm not careful, I don't know whether I should attack or defend. I'm too busy being distracted. Yu-Kun serves. Gosh, shit! Don't get distracted after giving him the okay signal. Managed to reach the ball at the last possible second, just barely tapping it over to the other side of the court. But Yu-Kun quickly runs up to the net, settling the point with a smash. 15 love. Stupid, so incredibly stupid. Why did I have to get distracted right now of all times? His first serve of the set is the most critical moment for me. If I manage to disturb his rhythm here, I could potentially set him back for the rest of the set. Now I lost my chance. That serve is going to serve as a confidence boost, and he's going to carry it into the next ones. I have to take him down before he manages to build up on it. Yu-Kun takes his next serve, a strong, fast slice attacking my backhand. So he's still going after that, huh? Since I don't have as much precision with my backhand, I tend to drop the power on those shots to avoid making unnecessary errors. Yu-Kun is specifically targeting that, pinning me to a specific side of the court so that I can't counterattack. Well, if I'm looking for a chance to attack, it's now. If I'm going to do something to break the cycle, then it should be here. One extra step. It was probably the hardest one to take, but I take that one extra step to circle around a shot and hit it with my forehand. Against a weaker opponent, that one extra step would be all it takes to score that point. A risky high-level technique to perfectly return on a turnaround. It would be perfect against a weaker opponent. Ha! Yu-Kun easily reaches that shot, almost as if you were expecting it. Just as I begin running to the other side of the court to defend against a powerful shot, I notice that the ball... What? The ball is dropping? I remain frozen in place, merely watching the ball bounce on the floor, right next to the net. Yu-Kun returned my counterattack with a drop shot. I was so focused on defending from another powerful shot that I completely disregarded the possibility of a drop shot. To be honest, I just couldn't imagine someone like him having such delicate technique as to hit a perfect drop shot like that. It was my mistake to overlook it. 30 love. If I don't come up with something quick, this is how the rest of the set is going to go. And going by the fact that my legs are shaking, I don't think my stamina would last through a tiebreak. I have to find a way to break his serve and to hold mine. Easier said than done. Yu-Kun hits another flat shot at an unbelievable angle. Even shots that seem to be downright impossible, he continues to put away with ease. He barely makes any mistakes, even though the difficulty of his shots is ramping up considerably. Even though I'm playing my best and my mind is completely clear and focused, even though I'm at my peak, I can barely keep up anymore. Game 1 by Kokonose, 5-all. I'm exhausted. My legs are quivering, barely able to stand. I've made it this far purely on guts. But guts can only get you so far, and now I'm running on fumes. It's my turn to serve again. If I lose this game, all he needs to do is keep his next serve to win. The pressure is at an all-time high. Why is it that at such an important time, my hands feel so cold? So cold. I can't feel my hands anymore. Shit, I'm starting to crumble under the pressure. Me? Losing to the pressure? You've got to be kidding me. But this feels just like my matches against Takagi. Just remembering that guy, remembering all the humiliating defeats. I can't see straight. Everything is a blur. Crap. No, my hands are sweaty too. I'm having a hard time just holding onto my racket. Michimiya, please hurry up to your position. I'm getting called. Shit. Calm down, Yuichi. You faced worse. Just breathe. But if I lose this tournament here... No. Don't think like that. What should I do? Which one? Okay, like, put, like, time violation if you want to do, like, a time violation, and then put down a fast in the, all in, like, the chat if you want that. So we're just going to go with the strong shot. We're going with this one. Okay. For now, I'll just try to steady myself. Wait. That'd actually be smart. Okay, let's go with this. If it doesn't work, then we'll go with the time violation. For now, I'll just try to steady myself. As weird as it sounds, focus on the pain in your finger. Let it drown out these annoying thoughts. Focus it all on the ball, and then let it go. I go for a wide slice. I can't think of any weaknesses of his. Nothing in his style that I could aim for. If it was Keisuke, I'm sure he'd have already thought of 1,001 ways to take advantage of his weak spots. But I'm not that kind of player. I don't have analytical skills, nor do I bother to learn them. I don't care about thinking too much. I just want to take advantage of my stronger physique and let it carry me to victory. It might be oversimplistic, but it's worked for me so far. So I'll stick to my guns. I'm sure I can come up with a way to get out of this. Just to make it simple. Just make it simple. Yuya-kun returns my ball with a strong topspin that makes the ball curve in an odd way. Instead of an arc, it's more like a drop. I need to take a few steps forward to reach it, but by then I've already missed the ideal timing to hit it. My shot was delayed and I can't control the ball as well as I'd like. He sees the opportunity when my return is too shallow. Yuya-kun lines himself up with the ball and pounds it away. The ball flies right into the fence, becoming lodged between the links. Love 15. Fuck. He took the first point. Even if I don't want to, I can feel the energy draining from my body. The pressure has fully mounted. I feel like I can't even breathe. I have to find a way to deal with it before it strangles any chance I have of winning. But how? Damn it. This is one part of tennis that I've never liked. Once you step into the court, you're completely alone. I really suck at this. I'm so used to relying on others. I'm sure if Shoichi were here, he'd beat my ass, telling me to stop moping around, just like he did with Keisuke this morning. Speaking of which, Keisuke would probably have some sage advice to give me right now. Jun would probably come up with a way to make me laugh. No. I can't be thinking about that right now. I need to come up with a way to win. If I can't even score on my own serve, then what chance do I... Yuichi! Huh? Hearing the sudden ruckus coming from just outside the court, my eyes are immediately drawn over there. That's the guys. That's right. They were here. I completely forgot about it. Haha. Yuichi? Stop messing around and play seriously already! What? Stop messing around? I am playing serious. Aniki, don't let it get to you. Shake it off. Shake it off? Is it that obvious that I've been struggling? Yuichi-san, I'm still counting on you to get revenge for me, so flip that switch already and play like you always do. You seem to have a lot more faith in me than I do myself. Yuichi-san, we're all here for you, so you can't lose now. June. Hey, Michimiya, we're cheering for you too. Michimiya, don't let that guy take the tournament from you. Show him who's boss. Kokonose, we're cheering for you too. Yuya, don't let these guys get to you. Finish him off. Wow, the audience has really gotten riled up all of a sudden. There are already more people in here than usual. Now that all of them are shouting and making noise, I can barely even listen to all the individual voices. So many people are cheering for us, for both of us. From the moment I step into the court, I'm completely alone with no one to rely on. Even if that's true, I've got all these people here cheering for me. I've got all my friends cheering for me. Even if I can't physically rely on them to get me through this, just knowing that they're here makes me breathe easier. It's so much fun pressing the control button. It's so much fun. Hey, Yuichi! One voice in specific, one that was much louder than all the others, calls out to me. I quickly turn around, looking at the edge of the court. I see Saya running towards my court, probably coming all the way from the one she was playing at. Saya-chan? Yuichi, you almost took all of my audience away. Don't you dare lose after doing that to me, or I will beat you senseless. Threat of violence aside, her voice, despite the harsh words, is gentle and encouraging. Makes me feel a happiness in my chest, having all my friends here cheering for me. What about your match? She holds 2 fingers up. Wait, 2 fingers? No, that's not just 2 fingers. That's a V for victory. If Saya-chan won, that's one less worry weighing at the back of my mind. Huh, my hands aren't shivering anymore. My head also feels much clearer. I see. Realizing they were here helped me to calm down a bit. I feel like I can finally think straight. The situation still feels just as dire, but somehow doesn't bother me as much anymore. I see. I should have just taken some time off to reassess my situation instead of panicking like that. I wasn't in a pinch yet, so there was no reason to go with the do-or-die approach. I still had other options. It was my mistake that ended up making this situation even worse. Now, to turn this around. If I think about it calmly, there's no reason for me to be so scared. It's true that he's been doing remarkably well, but when I think about it, there's some shots that he has been struggling with more than others. Yeah, whenever I went with a slice serve, he'd return with a slice as well. The timing for a slice is very tricky to grasp, and I get the sense that the slice is his most comfortable shot. It's definitely the one that he's shown to control the best. So I guess he's been falling back towards his specialty whenever the situation has started to become uncomfortable. With that in mind, if I already know what kind of spin he'll use, it's easier to narrow down the course. In fact, most of his slices today have focused on the open side of the court. So I hit a slice and he returns with a slice. The odds are that it'll be a straight. Yeah, if I think about it like that, it suddenly feels like I have some idea of what to do. If I can predict his next shot, I can totally counter it. Time to turn Yuya-kun's strategy against him. Every single shot is going to be aiming for the point. It's my turn to overwhelm him. I can't make it too obvious that I'm aiming for that. I have to make Yuya-kun think that this is just a normal rally. If he tries to change up his pattern at the last second, I'll probably be too late to respond. I can't allow for any more mistakes. If I let him get 2 points ahead of me during my serve game, I just might not recover. It's time to counterattack. Try to increase the power just a little bit. This might be pushing it, but the harder it is for him to return my serve, the higher the probability of him returning with the slice. We deadassed. Ka May Ha May. Wait, did I read that? I increase the power just a little bit. This might be pushing it, but the harder it is for him to return my serve, the higher the possibility of him returning with the slice. Nah, we're not going Kaioken times 10. Nah, we're going Ultra Instinct. Yuya-kun probably doesn't expect me to attempt to read him, so he won't be too wary of that. If I'm careful, I should definitely be able to catch him off guard. Just a fraction of a second before he hits the ball, I start dashing towards the open side of the court. I was right. Yuya-kun definitely aimed there. And it was the slice. Without wasting any time, I'll return this one in the way that he'd least expect. A drop shot. Yuya-kun freezes for a fraction of a second before turning to run towards the net. It's no use, even if you reach it right now. I'll be able to get it. The ball has barely crossed over to my side of the court before I slam it down with full power. Yu-Kun is kneeling down on the floor, looking up at me with a gaping maw, a look of shock visibly plastered across his face. Looks like I might finally be getting to him. 15 all. Yes! I can still fight. No matter how good he is or how fast he evolves, there's no way Yu-Kun could ever cover the gap in skill in just one match. And if by some miracle he did, there's still a gap in experience. Oh well, none of that matters right now. 15 all. My situation isn't half bad right now. Even if we're tied, I'm still doing fairly good right now. Now that my mind is focused again, I can see the court much more clearly. My body also seems to move more quickly. There's not as much wasted energy. I didn't even notice how stiff my body had gotten before. Pressure is really scary. Now that I think about it, even though I've been in high pressure situations tons of times, I never once managed to overthrow my pressure, did I? I always just tried to ignore it and play through it. I really am pathetic. Well, I guess there's nothing wrong with it as long as I recognize my mistakes. When I think about it, I really do have a penchant for giving up without trying everything, don't I? I was ready to give up on this match just because it got a little bit rough, when in reality, the situation wasn't nearly as hopeless as I thought it out to be. I can still win this as long as I do my best. It's been so long since I've played a real high-stakes match. I was always beaten so easily by Takagi that I never really got to enjoy it. Facing someone that's so evenly matched with me, not knowing whether I'm going to win or not. This feeling is amazing. My body is moving so much more lightly, even more than when the match started. Even though I can feel the fatigue growing, everything just feels so smooth. The rotation in my joints, the movement of my legs, my swings. I feel like it's all so much easier than before, as if a weight has suddenly been lifted from my back. This feeling is so familiar. This just might be how I used to play before. It's been so long since I felt so comfortable playing tennis. 30-15. I scored the point before I even noticed it. My body is moving on its own. Even though my mind is drifting off on other thoughts, my body is moving almost on instinct alone. Even before my mind can decide on the best path to take, my body is already doing it. Yu-Kun's face is so scrunched up right now, I guess he must really be struggling to keep up. The more we go on like this, the lighter I feel. This is just too much fun. It's like we were teetering on the edge, too evenly matched for one of us to really pull ahead. Right now, I definitely have the upper hand. Yu-Kun's shots are becoming more and more forceful. He's trying to stay on the offensive even when he's being pressured. That's commendable effort on his part. I can't help just how much he reminds me of myself. Even when he's being pushed, his eyes are always sharp and full of life. Even if he's frustrated, he's still enjoying himself. I used to play like that before. I had forgotten what that feeling was like. Heh, I missed it. Once again, my shot paints the lines. It's scary just how much my control has improved right now. I keep firing off risky shot after risky shot, and yet they all seem to fall inside the court. 40-15. Even the pain in my finger has become just a little buzz that I relegate to the back of my head. It's not important right now, and it doesn't bother me much. You've got to be kidding me! Yu-Kun seems to be getting really frustrated over the sudden turn the match has taken. Heh, I would be too. In fact, I think this mirrors the development we had at the start of the second set. He's probably feeling the same way I was. Perplexed, scared, in denial. Serves him right. If he raises the bar, then all that's left for me to do is raise it higher. I've never really thought much while playing, but man, it's really weird to be playing almost on automatic. Wow. Yu-Kun returns a rather forceful topspin shot to the open area of the court. That would have been a decent shot if it weren't for the fact that I was totally waiting for it. Once he started to get pressured, his playstyle became a lot more simple. Before, he'd at least mix and match his shots and trajectories a little, just enough so I couldn't predict them. Now all he does is fire a high-power shot to one side and then the other. He's trying to have me run left and right, but it's become such a tedious and predictable strategy that I can easily anticipate it. I'll show him once again that I am more than just a pile of muscle. I can also add a delicate touch when I need. As if threading a needle, I try my hand at some really precise control that I'm not usually capable of. I gently tap the ball over the net, adding some spin so that it'll bounce backwards once it hits the ground. The ball skirts the top of the net, just a few millimeters away from grazing it. It doesn't even make it halfway across the court by the time the ball stops bouncing, gently rolling across the ground. Game won by Michimiya, 6-5. And just like that, the crowd erupts in cheers. I guess they're getting excited now that I'm in top form. Hell, I'm getting excited too. I'm glad we switched sides before my serve. He won't have any time to recompose himself before he has to serve. Right now, we've got the ball rolling. If things keep going this way, I'm sure to win. But that doesn't mean I'm allowed to get reckless. I'll keep a close eye on him, and I'll be wary of any changes. He's changed once during the match, so there's no reason to believe he won't change again. Watch him closely and just try to react as fast as possible to whatever he might do. A wide slice. It's just as I thought. It's like I thought. The more pressure I put on him, the more he attempts to fall back to the shots he's more comfortable with. The number of slices he's used has skyrocketed since the last game, and now it's translating to the serves too. Once again, he returns my topspin with another slice. Does he think the irregular balance or the sliding motion of the slice will somehow throw me off? Doesn't really make sense. Hiya. In terms of throwing me off my rhythm, the topspin forehand with an irregular bounce was much better at doing that job, but I guess he's not as comfortable using that as he is the slice. I'll try to mix and match the angles of my shots too. Instead of shooting for the baseline again, I'll shoot for quick cross-court flat at a sharp angle. Good. That seems to have caught him off guard. Yu-Kun freezes for just a second and... Love 15. Score. This strategy might actually bring me to victory. At this point, Yu-Kun is so riled up, the odds of him recovering from this are very low. As long as he continues playing this over-aggressive, his attack pattern will always remain predictable. In that case, I should have no difficulty coming up with ways to counterattack. Just like last time, Yu-Kun comes at me with another slice, this time aiming for the center instead of going wide. The shot is even faster than the last one, but the spin is much weaker. As far as slices go, this certainly isn't one of the best. I return with a quick cross-court shot. This catches him off guard as he had already begun running towards the open court. He's forced to break mid-dash and run the other way. Yu-Kun manages to reach the ball, hitting another crazy angled shot. Unfortunately for him, his body balance was completely thrown off, causing his shot to fly straight into the net. Love 30. 2 more points. I just need 2 more points to win. Yu-Kun's grip on his racket has become so tight that his hands have begun to shake. Not only that, he's grinding his teeth in a way that he's making weird noises from his mouth. I guess I can understand being frustrated. It felt as if he was leading the match only to suddenly have it turned on its head at the last stretch, having victory so close and then having it snatched away. But I'm here to win, and I can't let pity get in the way of that. It takes a few seconds, but it seems that Yu-Kun has managed to get his temper under control. But his face is nowhere near as neutral as it was before. While a few seconds ago his expression was completely blank and betrayed nothing, now his brows are furrowed, his fur is bristled, his nostrils are flared, and his fangs are showing. I could tell what he was going to do during the game, but I couldn't tell what he was feeling. Now he's completed his transformation into an open book? Ugh, bad analogy. But the flaring of his temper has also brought a change to his playstyle once again. Instead of falling back towards a comfortable shot, he just hit his serve with as much power as he could. I could barely reach the ball in time. Even though this was his fastest serve today, he managed to get it to go at a terrible spot for me. Instead of coming at me with slices, he's pounding the ball with renewed vigor. Shit. I'm having trouble keeping up. I need to slow down the point in order to catch up. I'll go with a slice. The extra time it takes for this slice to reach his side of the court gives me a chance to better position myself. Oh, okay. Wait. Yu-Kun continues to pummel the ball with almost no concern for placement. Right now, he's all about power. As I continually go for slower shots, I'm given the chance to get more comfortable. Eventually, we're locked in an evenly matched battle of ground strokes. Except I'm thinking clearly, and I see an easy chance for another angled shot aiming just short of the service line. Huh? The instant I hit the ball, I can already tell that there's something off. He hits the ground incredibly close to the line, sliding away from Yu-Kun's range. The umpire's eyes are glued to the ground for what feels like an eternity, trying to decide whether the shot was in or out. But even before he announces it, my stomach has already dropped, because I could already tell that, out, 15-30. My aim was off. I don't know why, but at the last moment, it was as if my shoulder joint just seized up. Actually, now that I think about it, my entire body feels heavier. Damn it, I was playing without paying close attention to myself. I went over my limit without even noticing. I guess I got so absorbed in the feeling of satisfaction that I forgot to manage my stamina. I ended up pushing myself too far without bothering to save some up for the home stretch. My legs feel like they're about to split open. I try making wide movements with my body to try and warm myself up again, but my entire body suddenly feels so heavy. My muscles are seizing up, and I didn't pay attention to the warning signs. Crap, Yu-Kun is about to serve again. I try to run towards the ball, but I can immediately tell that I won't reach. It hits the fence, echoing the sharp sound of metal. 30 all. I'm at my wit's end, and I don't know what to do. I was careless, and now I'm paying the price. I didn't know that I was so close to my limits, so I should have taken care to save up some energy. What should I do? This situation has suddenly turned into a great pinch. Which one? a weem away, a weem away, a weem away, a weem away. In the jungle, the mighty jungle. Right, it's do or die. If I don't find a way to break his serve right now, what chance will I have at a tiebreak? My energy isn't going to miraculously return. It's only downhill from here. I know that if I push myself over the edge, I might be able to get one last boost. But on the other hand, if I risk it all here and can't break, I'll have absolutely zero chance at a tiebreak. No. Thinking like this is pointless. I'd have no chance at the tiebreak to begin with. I'll summon up every ounce of energy I still have, and if I've truly run out, then I'll just play on guts alone. I don't care if this match leaves me so exhausted that I can't move. I'm winning this, and I'm winning it right now! Yu-Kun restarts the match with another forceful serve. While it's plenty fast, my legs somehow oblige my desperate pleas and begin to move properly once again. Even if my arms still feel somewhat heavy, I can definitely hit it back. Just like that, we're locked in a stalemate. Yu-Kun's attacks are too predictable. As long as I can still run, I can deal with them. On the other hand, I can't seem to control the ball as well as I like doing before. And my shots aren't as forceful. I can't take big risks like I was before. They just wouldn't pay off. But I need to come up with some way to turn this around. I'm well aware that I'm out of fuel, and unless I want to come to a full stop before this match is over, I have to do something. Even if it's risky, now's the time to risk it all. Just continuing to play this game at this high pace was already a gamble. Might as well go all the way. I hit a drop shot, silently hoping that it'll catch him by surprise. Even though his face doesn't portray much, he seems to have been delayed one step. Will that be enough? Yu-Kun throws himself to the ground, attempting to pick the ball up before it has a chance to fall, but he fails. He's just a few centimeters short of the mark, and the ball rolls to the floor towards his face. 30-40. Match point. Michimiya, finish it now. Kokonose, don't give up. The crowd seems to get more riled up the closer the match comes to the end. At this point, my heart feels like it's about to burst out of my chest. But it's no dream. I do have match point. This is my chance. I doubt I'd last through a deuce. In fact, I'm pretty sure that if he manages to go to get a deuce, my chances of winning will go down to near zero. And he gets this last point no matter what. Oh god, this entire match has taken up the entirety of the stream. Too bad we're going later. Yu-Kun pats himself clean of whatever specks of dirt clung to his fur and clothes after his fall. His glare feels incredibly sharp. I feel uncomfortable having him stare at me like that, but I suppose I can understand his anger, and there's nothing I can do about it. Both walk back to our positions to start what is hopefully going to be the last rally of this match. Yu-Kun comes at me with another powerful flat serve. Ugh, I swear these keep getting faster. I managed to reach it, but only by the skin of my teeth. My return was just good enough to avoid an instant counter. Once again, we initiate a contest of ground strokes. If my body were moving just a little more responsibly, I feel like I could clinch this point fairly easily. His predictability is the only reason I can still keep up. If Yu-Kun were playing just a little more rationally right now, he'd probably win. But instead, I already know he's going to attack with another flat Huh? Before my very own eyes, I see the ball dropping right in front of the net. My mind is unable to comprehend what I see. As if in slow motion, I see the ball leaving Yu-Kun's racket with very little momentum, ready to drop to the floor and stay there. He went with a drop shot at this point of the match. Under all this pressure, as angry and aggressive as he's been, he managed to recompose himself enough to pull this off. For a split second, I can see what looks to be a malicious smile flashing across Yuya's face. He probably noticed my struggle with my own stamina and decided to capitalize on that. Even though I feel like my reaction was delayed, I have no choice but to run. If I let this point escape me, I won't be able to get back on track. Ha! I nearly fall to the ground attempting to reach the ball, but somehow I get to it. Yu-Kun's drop shot was surprising, but it was nowhere near perfect. The ball has too much power, and went a little too far over the net, making it easier to reach. But still, Yu-Kun comes up to the net, ready to finish the point. I stand firmly directly in front of him. Left or right, which way will he shoot? A lob? Right now, when I'm as far up the net as I can be, he chose to attack me with a deep, aggressive lob. I have no choice but to run. I need to reach this ball. Can't even see where Yu-Kun is right now because my back is turned to him. Now there's no time for me to turn around. If I try, the ball will bounce twice and I'll miss my chance. I've barely ever practiced this shot, but I have to go for it. Without turning around, I hit the ball from between my legs towards the left side of the court. Eh? Right as I hear Yuya's confused gasp, I turn around to see that the ball went past his defensive range on the net. Please go in. Everyone suddenly holds their breaths. Me, Yuya, the audience. We're all staring with anticipation at the Empire. He opens his mouth and... Game, set, and match won by Michimiya. Count 6-4, 3-6, 7-5. Okay, Yuya. Sorry, no, Yuichi. Now you can go out and lay down and just and just fucking die. The roars of the audience are deafening. The umpire barely has time to finish the announcement before his voice is completely drowned by the howls and yells of dozens of excited onlookers. Somewhere among them, my friends are probably also cheering for me, but right now there are so many voices that I can't hear them. I still can't believe that I actually won. It feels so surreal. I won! Somehow, even though I've had this title for years now, this is the first time that I've been happy to win it. Shoichi. My mind seems to finally register the Akita standing in front of the net, racket under his armpit, awkwardly scratching the back of his head whilst glancing at me. Right, I have to go shake hands with him. Shoichi, get the fuck over here. Yuya-kun, that was an amazing match. Thanks a lot. I extend my hand towards the Akita. His eyes tear up a little when he takes hold of my hand, shaking it enthusiastically. Yeah, it really was. Damn it. I'm so frustrated to have lost, but this was such a great match. I'm so happy. The Akita then opens his mouth in a wide, content smile, showing lots of teeth as tears stream down his face. I'm so happy to have finally been able to play against you, Yuichi-san. I hope I get to face you again in the future. I nod. I can't really come up with words to say. I don't even feel like I really need to say anything. We shake hands and then make our way out of the court. Time to fucking die. I walk out of the court and it doesn't take me long to find my friends. Most of the bystanders have already left as soon as the match was over, so there weren't many people here for them to get lost among. Yuichi, that was a great match. Way to deliver on that revenge thing, although for a second there I was afraid you'd collapse. I wasn't just afraid of that, I was sure it would happen. Mizuguchi-san, I thought we agreed not to criticize him. Saya shrugs. I changed my mind. I prefer to speak my thoughts. Wouldn't have it any other way, Saya-chan. Saya smiles, giving me a thumbs up. Welcome back to Theta with Theta noises. Yeah? Yeah? Suddenly, something very warm suddenly envelops me, nearly pushing me down to the floor. Whoa! Aki? Aniki, I'm so happy! Easy there, buddy. I'm covered in sweat. You're going to get yourself dirty. Aki shakes his head, rubbing it against my stomach. I don't care! I'm just so happy to see you enjoying yourself on the court again. Oh, you noticed that? It was clear as day to anyone who watched. At the end of the match, you just looked like you were enjoying yourself so much. You have no idea how happy it made me to see you like that again. Thanks, guys. Should we do something to celebrate? Can we do that another day? Kinda too exhausted. I just want to get on my bed and sleep. Aw, bummer. Aniki, once we get home, I'm gonna help you take a bath before you go to bed. I get the feeling you'd just fall asleep and drown in the tub if I didn't. You have that little faith in me? Actually, I think I'll just take a bath with you. Feels like it's been years since we last did that. Wow, really? I mean, it has been quite a few years since you last took a bath with me. Oh, wow. Pretty sure it's a different culture thing. I'm pretty sure it's like a different culture thing. Sure, why not? This sort of thing is nice every now and then. Well, alright, if you insist. Alright, if you insist. I pet my cute little brother's head as he continues to cling to me, even though I'm sweaty and probably reek. Okay. That sounds like a great idea. I'll join you guys too. The hell you will! If you want to take a bath, do it at your own house. Aw, Killjoy. These guys are ridiculous. I love them for it. May 2nd. Is the morning already? Yeah, I get it. Shut up already. Wait, what does CS mean? Stupid alarm, wish I could just smash it into a wall. Then again, this is super expensive, so I'll refrain from that. Ugh, having a single day of class in the week is so bothersome. Almost. Wait, we're going farther. Why couldn't they just take the whole week off? It's Golden Week, damn it! My bed is so comfortable, too. Can I just leave for 5 more minutes? Aniki? Aki knocks on my door, calling out to me. Aki, what are you doing knocking on my door so early? Shoichi asked me to make sure you show up for class today. If you don't get out of the room in 5 minutes, I'm walking in with a bucket. You don't have class today. Why are you even up at this time, you little brat? Maybe I could just... And don't even think of locking the door. I took a copy of the key last week just to make sure. Damn it. Sighing, I get up from my bed, grabbing my uniform that was lazily thrown over a chair yesterday, and walk to the bathroom. Oh! You've reached the character selection screen. As you spend more time with your chosen character, you will come closer to getting into their good graces and locking into their route. Remember, certain characters might need more time to warm up to you. Okay, I know! I know, we're gonna save here. I'm gonna, like, put a little save there. I don't know, like... my fucking heart! That would be smart. That would be smart. My fucking heart. Like, this is just so adorable. Like, he's just, like, going like that. They're all so happy. They're all so happy. Like, you have Keisuke over here. He has, like, 5 hearts. He has, like, oh god, I don't even, 8. Is that 8? He has, like, 8. And he has, like, 3. Like, god, they're adorable. Yeah, we're gonna leave off here tonight. I think we did choose to go with Shoichi first. Actually, yeah, that's a much better idea. I know, Haruki. Hang on, we're not done yet. We're not done yet. I'm just going to like do like a poll, like a Twitter poll. Will it let me? Am I allowed to go to Twitter? Where's Twitter? That's awful. Welcome to Twitter.com. You never know what's going to happen. Alright. What? Tennis ace. Route. Go down first. Insert poll. Oh, we're going to do this like a Shoichi, June, Keisuke. And this one is going to go on for like the next 21 hours. Like, even though we all agreed to go down, even though, like, yeah, even though we, like, agreed to do Shoichi first, we're still going to go through this process. Anyways, stay safe, have a good night, and I will see you all tomorrow.